Corvallis, Reser Stadium, home of the Oregon State Beavers. As we'll see a squad from the ACC, the Wake Forest Demon Deacons, taking on a team from the Pac-12, the Oregon State Beavers. For EA Sports, I'm Reese Davis, Jesse Palmer, and David Pollack with me. Guys, can't wait to get this started. And the Demon Deacons will put total leather and we'll get started. He'll bring it out. It's Travis. Nice job by the kickoff team. Everybody stayed in their lanes and they'll stop him at the 16. The Beavers offense will have first crack at this one. And David, their quarterback hasn't always blown you away statistically, but he is a guy that the coaches trust.
Yeah, and he'll show you some flashes of why you should trust him, Reese. But here's the thing. This is not a guy that we're saying, go win me the football. That's not where he's at right now in his career. Jesse, he's a guy that needs the others, that they got to help him out. They got to play on schedule, not make those mistakes, and guys really play well around him.
Yeah, David, the one thing quarterbacks don't want to be referred to as is a game manager, but that's really more what this guy is. You're right. They have to be able to run the football. They can't turn it over. They got to play great defense. If they do that in this game, he's good enough to get this win.
Got his man downfield. Just what they were looking for to get this drive rolling there out to the 35. Off the play fake on first down to throw. Makes the grab on the left. And he's brought down after a nice gain. And the Beavers are flying down the field. Power football with the run. At the 40, there he goes. They've got the defense reeling right now with that big play to the 29. The Beavers racing to the line in the hurry-up.
Well, the defense just had to chase that guy down, make a tackle after a long run, and no chance to substitute. They got to get the play call in because the offense is trying to go fast.
He'll be brought down at the 3-yard line. An explosive play in the passing game has him on the doorstep. They might have the defense's head spinning a little bit now. Hit him with a big run, now they hit him with a big pass.
Man, it's so hard to defend both. You know that. Which coverage do I want to put? Do I put more people in the box to stop the run? When you've got this kind of balance on offense, the defense can't be right.
Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. Can the defense stop them again on 2nd and goal? Touchdown, Oregon State! Fitted in the window for the score.
One of the areas they really focused on with this receiver in the offseason was we need you to make more plays for us in the end zone. When we're taking shots, we need you to be able to step up and make tough catches. David, what a grab right there.
And I think a lot of that has to do with trusting your guy, knowing where he's going to be, knowing when he's going to sit down, when he's not, so being on the same page, and then having a guy that can go get it.
Oh, and the extra point is blocked. An 84-yard drive there. Kickoff unit is out there again, and this crowd is feeling themselves after that last drive. Here he comes from inside his own 5. He was hoping for something a little more dynamic, but they get him on the ground at the 20. So the Wake Demon Deacons offense will try to get something started with their first possession. And they are coming off a sensational performance led by this quarterback who's hoping he can build on things, Jesse.
Well, I know, having played the position, when you have a big game, you just can't wait to get back out there again and build on that performance. David, last time out, he was making the right reads. He showed off his arm talent. He had this offense moving up and down the field and finding the end zone. And you know he's excited to take on this defense today.
Yeah, and talking to the defensive coordinators coming in this football game, like, they're not going to do what happened last week. Like, you can't sit back and make the coverages easy for him to diagnose. He'll pick you apart like he did last week. Look for some change-ups and some curveballs for this defense.
Just a bit of a misfire there as they can't make the connection. What will they dial up on 2nd and a long way to go? They'll run it from the gun. Turning it on. Finally stopped at the 46 after a 15-yard gain. The Demon Deacons have it with a 1st and 10.
Defense gives up the pretty big run. They get the first down. And listen, you got to reload quick now because this offense, they got their foot on the accelerator.
Wide receiver comes in motion. Off the play fake on 1st down to throw. Just a little bit too much juice on that one as the freshman was taking a shot. So now it's 2nd and long. Looking for a physical attack from the gun. And they're able to shove him to the turf as they stop him for a short gain. And the Demon Deacons headed quickly to the line. On 3rd and long, try to convert through the air. Here comes the heat. Oh, and he got drilled as he just got rid of the football. And here comes the punt team. First punt of the day, and he'd love to lock them up close to their goal line. That thing was down for a while, but the big bounce carried it into the end zone, and it'll be a touchback. Oregon State takes over, ready to send the offense onto the field. Always a positive to put up early points, and they'll try to add to this 6-0 edge. And incomplete on the deep ball. Working well behind the sticks on 2nd down. Wants to go up top. Under fire. And the quarterback is knocked down back at the 13. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. Now a lot of work to do to move the chains, keep this drive alive after that earlier sack. On 3rd and long, you'll need to push it downfield.
Another sack. This quarterback group, not this quarterback, this one, because you're already on quarterback number 2, taking a lot of hits today. Got to keep these guys upright, got to protect them. This offensive line has to do a better job.
The Beavers will call on their punt team. 3 and out, they got stuck in reverse. They hope the punt can bail them out. Sometimes avoiding disaster is the best thing. The punter just gets it out of there. Wake Forest has it back, and here comes the Deacon offense. They'd love to get something started here, down 6-0. They'll go to the ground. Plows through the defense.
A nice job being gap sound by this defense. And here you go. Watch what this offense does. They'll get right back on the ball, and they'll go really quick, so you got to be prepared.
They'll run the option. And how about the work up front by that big defensive line? They'll try to move the chains on this 3rd and long from the 50. He's looking to throw. Using the back as a receiver on the screen. They'll move the chains. Good execution on 3rd down. They've got it at the 41. See what they dial up on 1st and 10.
When offenses get first downs like this and they move the sticks and they get some momentum, look at what they do. They put their foot on the gas, run this no huddle, get to the line of scrimmage, and try to capitalize.
He stopped just a chain link or 2 away from the 1st down and sets them up beautifully here. They'll keep it on the ground. They make the stop, but he'll have enough yardage for a 1st down. The Demon Deacons are moving quickly down the field. Looking to throw on 1st down. It's complete on the right side. And he's brought down after a nice gain. And the Demon Deacons want to move quickly. He'll pull it on the read. And he's brought down after a nice gain. This offense in scoring position with a fresh set of downs. Timeout called here by the defense. It's their 1st of the half. The Demon Deacons have it with a 1st and goal. They'll try to get it in with the run. And this one will be stopped for no gain. Defense rolls up deep in its own end on that last play. Now a 2nd and long coming. Looking to fire. Looking to get it in. He's down at the 1, and they almost had the touchdown pass on that one. They keep nudging it closer, but now it's 3rd and goal from the 1. Working that left side now. And he will take it in. Touchdown, Wake Forest.
Number 17 with the grab and the score.
Lining up for the point after and the lead. And they move on top with the extra point, 7-6. And for a quick update, let's go to Kevin Connors in the studio.
Guys, you could make a case this is the game of the week in the SEC. LSU is currently up big right now in a game they'll be talking about in Death Valley for some time. They're up 14 over Auburn. Games like these just mean more in the SEC, and we'll circle back. If anything big happens, you should see.
Thanks for the update on that one, Kevin. Let us know when it goes final. And he never had a chance. Just stopped cold as soon as he got it. 2nd down, he'll throw it. That, friends, is a busted play. Incomplete. This defense has kept them backed up. Now 1 more stop, and they can get off the field on 3rd and long. Looking to throw, and he needs a bunch. Intercepted, and the defense has set him up. He can be dangerous with the ball in his hands, but no room to return that pick, and they'll go on offense from the 21.
And you will always remember your 1st. And how about that? Breaking on the football, getting an INT, the 1st INT. Keep the football, brother. The 1st of many big-time plays for this guy.
Wake Forest has it back, and here comes the offense. We got a tight one early, and they go back on the attack, holding a 7-6 lead. From the gun, they'll try to impose their will. Hard running there. They make the stop, but not before he sets them up with a 1st and goal from the 10. Wants to throw on first down. Looking for the goal line. Crisp execution in the passing game, and they've got it down to the 3. Now on 2nd and goal. Barrels ahead. Into the end zone he goes. Touchdown, Wake. A quick strike, just as we expected.
Yeah, and quick strikes are easy when you got such great field position. Obviously, when the offense starts in such a good spot, puts the defense in a bad position, and the offense takes advantage.
They'll try to add another to their lead. And the PAT makes it 14-6. Quick strike offense on that 3-play scoring drive. Kickoff unit on the field, and this defense will be called on to protect this lead. On the run from inside his own 5. Nice job executing all of the assignments as they put a stop to that return at the 22. First play of the drive comes from the 22. Off play action on first down. And they won't be able to connect downfield, looking for a big-time play. Try to make up for some of that lost ground on 2nd down. After the incompletion, they go back up top. Makes the grab.
Offenses don't like being in these situations. They don't like having little success on 1st and 2nd down, because now you know I got to pass the football. I got to air it out. It makes me really predictable. So let's make sure you...
Lost one deep down the right side. Oh, he had it. The deep ball was there, and it just trickled through his fingers. And the Beavers will send out the punt unit. This will be the 2nd time they've had to kick it away. Catches it at the 30. Makes a move. That's a perfect example of not settling for a fair catch. Pick up whatever yardage you can and help out the offense. Out of the gun to give to the back. And he was fortunate not to lose yardage on that play, able to wedge it back to the line of scrimmage. To the air on 2nd down. They've got the screen set up. And that one looked great on the grease board, but when they blow it up like that, the defense is going to win every time. On 3rd and long, he'll need to loosen up that arm. Found a seam. Now well within striking distance as that 3rd down play gets them a first at the 29. We've come to the break, and it's Wake Forest holding the lead. 1 period in the books, and let's take a look at the stats. Heading in the opposite directions now as we crank it up in the 2nd. First play of the period, first down here. On the option. The pitch. Not a whole lot of room there. 3 yards maybe, 2nd and 7. And the Demon Deacons in the hurry-up.
This offense is perfectly fine with a little game because they're going to make you tackle this all game long. They're going to make you think all game long. So they'll keep running it ad nauseum and just wait for that one opportunity when you don't do your assignment.
Quickly to the tight end. And he's going to be just short of the first down. It's going to bring up a decision for this coach. And they're going to head out to line up for a field goal. He'll line it up from the right side, a 37-yarder coming up. And it slips just inside that right upright. And they'll push that lead out a little further.
Man, so many more times we're going to say, go for it, be aggressive. Nice to have a guy you can depend on, and you know you're putting 3 on the board. Nice kick, nice job.
On the move from inside his 5. He was hoping for something a little more dynamic, but they get him on the ground at the 20. Oregon State has it back, and here comes the Beaver offense. Starts a drive trying to go up top. Just a short pass to the tight end.
I'll tell you, when you got a tight end like this, it makes it a lot easier calling pass plays on first down, even if the defense is in zone coverage. He did a really good job there, working his leverage, finding the soft spot, and making it an easy completion.
Fires to the tight end. They knock him down, but he's got enough to get it across the line and pick up the first down.
And the offense showing off the short passing game, moving the sticks. Nice job, and look at them. They're right on the football, ready to capitalize on this momentum.
They stop him almost immediately. Short gain there, and still a little ground to cover to pick up the first. Out of the gun, they'll run it inside. And he's almost to that first down marker there, saying he's a little bit short. They might want to bring out the sticks and measure, but it looks as if he'll be just short of the first down. Big time play by the defense. He'll lose 4. The Beavers decide to punt it away. He's going to try to flip the field with this one. Hauls it in, looking for space. He'll get it to about the 25 before they put a stop to the return. The Wake Forest offense returns to the field. They kicked a field goal on the last drive, Jesse. They've got the lead. Don't make a dumb mistake, but they get enough rush, and it pays off. The sack at the 20.
But when it's a play-action pass, that quarterback, he really has to sell the fake. He can't tell his offensive lineman's getting beat right away while he's selling the fake. He had no shot.
The Demon Deacons have put themselves in dire straits after that last play. It's 2nd and a mile. Back to pass. Firing to the right, complete. Slips, slithers, and jukes his way out to the 26. On 3rd down, he drops to throw. Under fire. And it was worth the gamble, but the long pass is incomplete. And the Demon Deacons will punt this one away. This will be the 2nd time they've had to kick it away. They make the stop, and that is exactly what you want out of your punt cover unit. Oregon State takes over, ready to send the offense onto the field. They just didn't quite find the rhythm on that last drive, Jesse. They had to punt it.
I think they got to be more physical, David. I think up front they got to do a better job getting blocks and establishing this running game.
And how easy does football become if you're the more physical team? If you can threaten the run and then run play action, it opens up the whole offense at your disposal.
We'll see if they go back to the air after the incompletion. It's 3rd and 5. From the gun, wants to pass. Throws to the wideout. Picked off, and they ruin an early drive with the turnover. He goes down after the short return, but what a play to get the football back.
And this is obviously not a great start for this quarterback here. 2 interceptions already in this game. He's got to do a much better job with his decision-making.
Wake Forest has it back, and here comes the Deacon offense. A rather unproductive series last time, 3 and out, and they'll try to do better this time around. They'll run the RPO and throw it right. And a good job in coverage there as they stop it after just a few.
Defense, man, it helps you a lot when you can be a linebacker or a corner or safety, anybody, and you see the QB throw the football. Now I can break on the football right away and limit gains like right here on this play.
And how about that? Right after they get the explosive play running the ball, they're going right back to the line of scrimmage for some tempo.
Back open in the middle.
You see this more and more in college football. Motion the running back out of the backfield. What am I looking for? I'm looking to see if it's man coverage. Does the linebacker go and chase him? If he does, guess what I get to do? Take advantage of my matchup. I like my speed better than yours.
Hauled down, but they'll move the sticks as he picks up the first down. The Demon Deacons want to crank the tempo. Quarterback on the keeper. He's brought down, but it'll be enough for a first down. And the Demon Deacons pounded the rock to move the sticks, now back to work. Trying to find the end zone. He's all the way down to the 2-yard line. Just spectacular execution there. They'll run it. And he takes it in for the score. Touchdown, Demon Deacs. No midseason concentration laps here in Week 7 as they push out that lead.
This guy just has a nose for the end zone, and you love his ability to find creases, use his speed in the open field, and go score. He's been really good for his offense early this year. That already his 5th rushing touchdown on the season.
Lining up to tack one more onto that lead. And with the extra point, they're on top by 18. Let's go to the studio now and check in with Kevin Connors. Kevin, what do you got?
Hey, guys, just wanted to get you a quick update on a game happening in the Big Ten. Florida Atlantic is trailing right now, and I know it may look bleak, but this team needs to regroup, remind itself it's at home, and remember just how quickly things can change. It's a touchdown game. They're trailing by 7 to Penn State. Your boy KC has you covered here in studio, guys, in case anything changes in this Big Ten battle.
Oh, and how about that? I know Kevin and those guys will be keeping an eye on it for us. Off play action. And that's going to fall to the ground incomplete. That was a physical matchup there. 3rd down coming. From the gun, wants to pass. Here's the pressure. Has no choice but to throw it away, and it'll bring up 4th down. The Beavers will line up to punt it away. Looks it in at the 40. He's brought down, but a really solid effort to pick up every bit of yardage he could on the punt return. Wake Forest has it back, and here comes the offense. Using his legs, it's Hill. Gets it past the 1st down marker and still running. And they explode on that one, and they've got it down to the 22. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. The Demon Deacons come to the line after ripping off that huge gain on the ground, trying to keep it going. Motion from the wide receiver. Right back to the well. He's brought down just running hard in the red zone, and he'll be just a few inches short. It'll be 2nd down, and remember, they can pick up a first without scoring. They'll run it out of the shotgun. They make the stop at the 5-yard line, but they've got it 1st and goal. On the doorstep of cashing it in for the offense. They'll go to the air. Grab behind the line. It's Green. He is going nowhere. Stop at the line of scrimmage. And the D deny them on 2nd and goal. Big guy smells it. And that defense pushing him out of bounds after a short gain. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. They worked it down to the 4-yard line, but now it's 3rd and goal. Give to the back. Absolutely nowhere to go as this defense makes a 3rd down stop. Here comes the field goal unit. And he's made one already, and this one ought to be caked from 21 yards out. They'll try to get something out of this drive and kick the field goal here on 4th down. Absolutely perfect. And now the lead is extended a little further.
And you want a touchdown and you want to be aggressive, but, man, right down the middle, that obviously gives me some confidence down the road that I can trust this guy.
He'll bring it back from inside his 5. Nice job executing all of the assignments as they put a stop to that return at the 22. No reason to be in a big rush. They have some time here late in the half. Leaves it with the back. Gets it out to the 25-yard line, a gain of 3. Whistle blows. We are at the 2-minute timeout, and man, oh man, could these guys use a score to cut into this lead. From the gun, they'll try to impose their running game. That is a big win for this defense as they were right there as soon as he got the ball. Rushes on him. And the catch along the sideline will come up a little short of the 1st down. And the Beavers will bring the punt team onto the field. No return coming here as he signals for the fair catch and makes it right around the 30-yard line. Let's see if they can put together a drive starting from their own 28. He'll do it himself on the draw. Makes a stop in the backfield. He'll lose 4. He'll go to work in the air on second down. Got his man on the right. He's brought down quickly. Minimal gain there. Still a bit short of the first down. Ball's at the 29. Defense can taste getting off the field. It's 3rd and long. And the pass rush is effective, and they tackle him at the 19. We've got a timeout here late in the first half, and they'll try to get more points on the board before the break. The kick is on its way. This is a spot you see many returners try to take a chance, but not this time. The fair catch just inside the 40. Looking to throw on first down. A little screen to the running back. Not a whole lot of room there on that screen pass as it just never developed. The Beavers moving quickly to the line. Back to throw, and they've got to be aware of the clock. Had to throw it before he wanted. Good job to toss that ball out of bounds and avoid the loss. 3rd and short from the 44, and we might know if they plan to go for it on 4th down by what they call here. Trying to make magic with his feet. Great job by this savvy senior to know when he just needs to move the sticks with his feet. To the line quickly. They'll spike it to save some time. Time dwindling away as they try to put points on the board right before the half. Wants to throw. They'll have to be efficient against the clock. Completes it along the sidelines, but that'll be for no gain. They'll have just enough time to get one more snap before the half. On 3rd and long, he's going to have to throw for it. Oh, they're after him. Pressure is all over him, and he can't get it off. Down he goes, and that'll bring us to the end of the first half. That's going to wrap up the first half here, and now we join Kevin with the halftime update.
Guys, you've been calling a lively one from there in Corvallis. And the undisputed star of the half has been that lockdown corner. The coaches told us how good he was, but I almost think they undersold how impactful he would be. Ultra physical with zero hesitation, and with hands like that, I wonder if they don't think about using him in the passing game at some point. And with that, let's send it back to the fellas inside Reser Stadium.
The Beavers will kick it off to start the second half. From inside the 10, here he comes. Nice job executing all of the assignments as they put a stop to that return at the 22. The Wake Forest offense returns to the field. Not sure they had to make many adjustments at halftime as they try to build on this lead here in the 3rd.
Well, the good news is he did a nice job reading the coverage. He knew exactly where to go with the football that time. Just a little bit too much on that pass. You wonder if that's just nerves. He's got to settle himself down a little bit.
Terrific job getting to him. There was nowhere to go. Facing a 3rd down and short from the 26. From the gun, wants to pass. Unloads to the wideout. And that's incomplete. A defender all over him. Knocked the ball to the ground. 4th down coming up. And the Demon Deacons will try to pin them back with the punt. Let's see if he can help the coverage team out with this one. He'll put a stop to that return as he gets it up to the 41-yard line. And now the offense will come onto the field again. From the gun, they'll try the middle. Breaks into the open. And he was on his way. Gets it all the way to the 38.
Man, that is so tough. When you play defense, you get your eyes on your keys and you got to read them, but sometimes they lie to you. You could see the little misdirection by this offense, fooled the defense, created some space. The offense took advantage and made a huge play.
Wants to go up top on first down. Bring in the heat. And this will be incomplete. A big hit there forces second down. Couldn't make the connection last time. Let's see if they throw it again. Second down, they'll go to the air. Fires to the big fella. And they knock him down. There was nowhere to go. Defense is swarming. And this offense can ill afford to come up empty on this drive, already trailing by multiple possessions. He's going to take off. Got to protect the merchandise. Gets down without taking a hit. And the field goal unit is on the field. Looks as if this will be a 51-yard attempt. It doesn't always have to be pretty, and that one wasn't, but somehow he hooked it just into that left corner. Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. So after putting 3 on the board, the kickoff team is out there ready to boot it away. And he takes this from inside the 5. Slips through the line. This guy is so dangerous. He excellent vision to find a lane and get it out and set up the offense with good field position. To the air on first down. They're working that left side. Good pickup there as he gets the first down, and they'll mark him at the 48. New set of downs after the completion. Fires to the big fella. And they picked up 9 on first down. It'll bring up second and short. From the gun, the give, looking for room. And they'll stop him just short of the first down, just inches away from moving the sticks. He'll sneak it. And he just needed a few inches, and the defense was surly and nasty and said, no, sirree. The Demon Deacons line up to punt it away. They've been busy out there to punt for the 5th time today. Yet another punt on the way. Got to make sure that hamstring stays loose. He's been busy. Oregon State has it back, and here comes the Beaver offense. You want to talk about having a weapon to bail out a drive? Oh, he's got some space. Now they've got a little room to work with. They're out to the 28 with a first down. So they move the sticks on the run. Let's see what they do with this one. Makes the grab down the middle. And he's knocked down immediately, but a good pickup on that play. And the Beavers can really attack on this second and short. Wants to go up top. On the run, fires downfield. And the pass is incomplete thanks to a big hit. Couldn't pick it up on second down. Now they need a couple on third down. To the ground to try to move the chains. Coming through with that third down conversion, and they'll mark it at the 43. The Beavers look to keep this drive humming. Quick strike complete. And just a short, safe pass play. They pick up a few. They're dealing with a second and long. Looking to fire. Pocket breaking down. And that one's too high and too wide, out of bounds and incomplete. Now facing a third and long. From the gun, wants to pass. Can't make the connection on third down thanks to that tough, hard-nosed pass defense, and now it's fourth down. Punt is on its way. You'd think they would have had a good chance to down that one deep, but the bounce carries it into the end zone for the touchback. He'll do it himself. Makes the tackle at the 30 after he picked up 10. They'll snap this one from the 30 on 1st and 10. Looking downfield on first down. Pressure coming. Good job to avoid the negative play and just get rid of that thing. Behind the chains now on second and long. Oh, he's got a chance. There he goes.
think this defense moving forward has to be able to finish plays. On that second down, the quarterback had nowhere to go with it, and the defense had an opportunity to get to him, get him on the ground, setting up 3rd and long, but because they couldn't do that and let him spring free, it's now 3rd and manageable. This defense just making life hard on themselves right now because they're not finishing these plays.
Everybody stays in their lanes well enough, and they stop him at the 31-yard line. Oregon State takes over, ready to send the offense onto the field. Fires to the wideout. And that incomplete pass caused by the big hit on 1st down. 2nd down coming. Plenty of distance between them and the sticks here on 2nd down. The run from the shotgun. Fights off a defender. Really nice pickup there as they have it out to the 44 with the 1st down. Here's this offense with a fresh set of downs. Looking to throw on 1st down. And the pass is incomplete, but the flag flies, and there was a lot of early contact there.
Pass interference. Defense.
And the defender just way too handsy on that last play. You could see all the contact as the ball was in the air. He simply can't do it, and the referees caught it.
Use the play fake. Now to throw. On target. Able to scrounge 3 yards out of that one somehow. It's 2nd and 7. Short completion last play. Let's see if they throw it again. From the shotgun, the inside give. Able to squeeze out a couple on the play. It's down at the 35. Looks as if we have an injury on that last play, and we'll take a break to check him out. The Beavers really need to keep this drive alive on 3rd down. From the gun, wants to pass. Finds the tight end. They are on the move as they pick up the 1st down. They'll spot it at the 28. And the Beavers come to the line with a new set of downs. They'll go back to the ground. They'll pull him down after a pickup of 5 down to the 23. Got 6 on 1st down. Now a lot of options on 2nd and 4. Leaves it with the back. He'll be pulled down after a good run. They'll mark it at the 15. The Beavers back to the line on 1st down. Let's see if they keep leaning on this running game. Use the play fake. Now to throw. Quarterback feeling the pressure, and down he goes at the 22.
The defense just simply not fooled by the play action. Oftentimes as an offense, you're hoping the run fake's going to slow down those pass rushers, but man, oh man, they had their ears pinned back.
As they get set to snap it, just about to reach the end of the quarter. And you want to talk about his favorite receiver, it might be everybody, based on the number of guys getting touches and a chance to show off their hands in the passing game. One more quarter to play, and it might be unlikely, but hey, it's college football. Comebacks happen. So the final period starts with a 2nd down play. Back to pass. Got rid of it in a hurry, but he couldn't find his man. It's incomplete. Let's see what they've dialed up on 3rd and long from the 22. On the option. Turning it on. He's brought down right at the 13-yard line. Still a ways to go to make it to the line to gain. Let's see what they do on 4th. That thing would have hit a string in the middle of the uprights. Perfect. That'll trim the deficit to 15.
And listen, y'all know in the booth and everywhere how I feel about kickers. Don't always love leaving it on their foot, so to speak, but nice job executing. He keeps doing stuff like that. I'll keep trotting him out there.
He'll start the return inside his 5. Just never had a chance to shake loose, and he'll be brought down at the 24. Wake Forest has it back, and here comes the Deacon offense. Here's a heat. And the is effective, and they tackle him at the 19.
This defense, they are tenacious, and they've got guys up front that are athletic and that are so strong and that can collapse the pocket. You saw it right there in that play-action attempt.
And the Demon Deacons trying to find their way forward after the big loss on the last play. He's got it on the right. On the move at the 30. They finally get to him, but what a play there to pick up the first down. The Demon Deacons are in the hurry-up.
And I don't know if this defense knows what just hit them because they gave up the completion, they gave up a first down, and now here's the offense back up at the line of scrimmage again, going tempo.
Wants to throw on first down off the play fake. With the catch, it's Pitts. Didn't pick up a lot there, moved it forward just a few. No huddle here for the offense. Leaves it with the running back. Got the first down, looking for more. They finally wrestle down the senior, but not before he picks up some valuable ground.
And I think this will go a long way in determining the outcome of this football game. They're able to run the football with the lead late in this game. That's a good sign for this offense.
He'll go out of bounds. They'll mark him down at the 31, and a big pickup on that one.
You know what's interesting? At this point of the game, with the lead in the fourth quarter, the defense is expecting them to run the ball. And because they're putting so many guys close to the line of scrimmage, they're taking advantage, throwing it 2 straight completions now back-to-back.
He'll keep it himself. And he doesn't find much running room, a short gain on the play. 3rd and long from the 30-yard line, and this defense hoping to knock them out of field goal range. From the gun, wants to pass. Makes the pass. Complete to the left. Gets it inside the 5, down to the 4, and it'll be 1st and goal.
And you just get the feeling that this defense has to find a way to get off the field and get the football back at this juncture of the game, trailing late if they're going to win.
From the gun, looking for a man. And he's all bottled up, and now it's worse. The ball's loose.
Well, ball security doesn't just apply to running backs and receivers. QB's got to keep 2 hands on the ball as well. They're very lucky after that fumble that the offense jumped on.
Defense rose up deep in its own end on that last play. Now a 2nd and long coming. Wants to go up top. Makes the grab over the middle. That throw and catch gets them down to the 6, and the defense is running out of answers. And the last thing you want after controlling the ball, moving it down the field, is to have to settle for a field goal attempt. It's 3rd and goal. Took a shot as he threw. And they'll miss the connection here on 3rd down. So this field goal unit has been getting the job done. They've already made a couple here today. Oh, he missed it. No good. And after the missed field goal, guys, the lead's still at 15.
Well, everybody in the stadium thought that was an automatic 3. Not so fast. Bad miss by the kicker.
Oregon State has it back, and here comes the Beaver offense. It's always great to get points on a drive, but it would behoove them to try to get a touchdown this time around, Palmer.
They may have to get out of their comfort zone here too, David, a little bit and just start being more aggressive and take some chances, but that's what's going to happen for them to win this game.
Yeah, and when you're losing, obviously everything gets heightened. Everything becomes more critical. This drive is crucial because you got to cut into this deficit and put some points on the board.
Here comes the heat. Can't make the connection. The pressure there caused the missed timing. Couldn't find his man last time, and that leaves him with a 3rd and 6. Looking to throw. Flips it out on the screen. And he was knocked down immediately short of the line to gain. They'll have to make a decision here. Down in the 4th quarter, it's too late for empty possessions. They'll go for it on 4th down. He moves the chains, and they'll mark the ball at the 33. The Beavers getting set on 1st and 10. Wants to throw on 1st down. Quickly out to the tight end. And he goes out of bounds after coming up with positive yardage there. Trying to get a rhythm in the passing game now on 2nd down. Looking to fire. Finds his tight end. Wrestled down at the 43 after getting 5. And the Beavers are rolling down the field. Off the play fake on 1st down, wants to throw. He's going to run it. On the run, and he'll slide to avoid the hit. A nifty pickup there. The Beavers can play this 2nd down a lot of ways with just a few yards to go. They'll move the wide receiver. Going to swing it on 2nd down. Hauls it in. Dragged down, but they'll move the sticks for a 1st down. The Beavers want to pick up the tempo.
Well, down 2 possessions. Good news is you get the completion. Bad news, though, did not get out of bounds. You know right now, saving the clock. That is at a premium for this offense.
Man down on the play as the officials take a break to let him be checked out. Now inside the 20, 1st and 10 from the 18. They'll throw it from the red zone. Finds his big tight end. Now the connection takes it to the 11. Going to work in the red zone. They can't pick up the 1st down without getting it into the end zone. Looking to throw again. He makes it grab. Into the end zone. Touchdown, Beaver! They score for the big fella here. Why are tight ends so effective in the red zone?
Well, these aren't the guys that are going to burn by you and go for 70 most of the time, but when you can use their big-bodied frames, threaten them to run the football and be a blocker in the running game, and now you slip them in the secondary and you make that big play.
And with the lead sitting at 9, they'll try to make it a 1-possession game. And the PAT will draw them 1 point closer. And let's check in with Kevin Connors in the studio. Kevin?
Hey, guys, just wanted to give you a quick update on a game happening in the SEC. LSU is running away with things right now, and you just know Mike the Tiger is loving this offense today. They're up by 24 over Auburn. We'll keep an eye on things until the final horn in a game that could shake things up a bit in the SEC.
And how about that one? Kevin will be keeping an eye on everything going on elsewhere. And the physical play there forces the incompletion on 1st down. Plenty of work to do here on 2nd and long. Couldn't connect on 1st down, now back to the air. Timeout called there by the defense, desperate to get the ball back and save as much time as possible. Looking to throw on 3rd. The quick out. They'll get it to the 48. No need to measure. It's a 1st down. Quick timeout called by the defense, stopping the clock to save as much time as possible for their offense. A little too much on that one, just out of his reach. Backed up now. Here's 2nd and long. They'll run the ball. The clock is on their side. And maybe he'll get back to the line of scrimmage, but no more than that. The defense calls a timeout, and that's their last one of the half. And the incomplete pass will bring up 4th down. And the Demon Deacons send out the punt unit. A fairly short distance here toward the sidelines, not his best work. Oregon State takes over, ready to send the offense onto the field. That last touchdown drive was surgical through the air, Jesse.
It sure was, and that's why this offense is so dangerous, David, because they can score.
And the defense, they've got him at the 27.
And there's no mystery as to why this team's losing today. They've given up 5 sacks. They cannot keep their quarterback upright, and you just saw another example of it right there. He has never been able to get into rhythm throwing the football.
And the Beavers with a long way to go after the loss on the last play. Clock stops. We have reached the 2-minute timeout, and the offense is looking for a play to close this deal out. Now facing 2nd and long after the defense came up with that sack. Under fire. Incomplete. He had to get rid of it before he wanted to. The defense put the heat on. The defense coming out to protect the lead, but this offense still has plenty of time. Likely their final drive. Zings it complete to the right. That's the kind of play that can really get you going as they have a first down at the 43. The Beavers come to the line with a fresh set of downs. It's complete to the left. Out of bounds at the 49-yard line, but not before getting it into opponent territory. They're looking to throw on 2nd and short. He'll try to do it himself. And the defense holds firm. No pickup at all on that play. They'll try to get the first through the air. Throws to the wideout. And he just overshot his man and threw it out of bounds, incomplete. And here we go, down a score. They'll go for it on 4th down. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. Big man has it. It's a first down and more. A quick tackle made, but he's got plenty for the first down. Looking to throw on 1st down. Throws for the tight end. And it's incomplete. If you're going to take a hit like that, you might as well hang on to the ball. What will they dial up on 2nd and a long way to go? After the incompletion, back to the passing game. And that pass will be jarred loose on 2nd down. That brings up 3rd down. Trying to pick up a first down. Trying to move the sticks on 3rd down through the air. A little floater there that falls incomplete. It's a one-score game late, and they've got to go for it on 4th down. He'll try to throw and pick up the first down. Oh, he dropped it. He just lost his concentration and didn't look it all the way in. They thought they had a good plan, but it did not work. The quarterback takes a snap and takes a knee. You know, there's no real reason to panic, but if you think about it, when does panicking ever really help? But certainly this was a bitterly disappointing outcome.
And you can look at a lot of different statistics, and I know we tend to overcomplicate college football these days, but guys, at the end of the day, it comes down to two very simple things. You can't turn the ball over, and you can't have penalties. You do those things, David, and it'll beat you every time.
That's the difference between winning and losing. It's the small things, but find those things that you need to improve on. Keep working on them. Keep developing. Those things you do well, let's do those. Let's do more of those things more consistently.
Thanks so much for spending some time with us. For David Pollack and Jesse Palmer, I'm Reese Davis, and this has been another presentation of EA Sports College Football.